Hello, my name is Youssef, and I'm an addict. They say that every single kind of addiction stems from a place of disconnection from society. And for me, that was my whole childhood. Ever since I was a child, I didn't know how to make friends, and people didn't talk to me, I didn't talk to people, because I didn't know how to. So it was very natural for me when I got handed my very first cigarette. I was already an outcast. So it didn't feel like much of an identity change to do something that outcasts do, which is smoke. Go outside alone, have a cigarette, go back in. So here's my story. I only realized that what I was doing was wrong when I lost the love of my life because of it. I was born to a father who was a compulsive smoker and a mother who despised the habit. So I was filled with shame for what I was doing. And shame disconnects you from other people more. I learned very easily to hide it because my dad had to hide it, as he was a businessman. And that didn't rub off well in the business world. I'm not saying it was easy, but I'm saying I had a good teacher. Not to brag. "10 years later, the summer right before I went to university, I had the innocent thought and the proud mind to say that I had met the love of my life at a very young age. She was an addict as well, and she was sober for 2 years, until that summer. That summer, she had a bad day, that's what we called it, and she relapsed. And that day, something changed in me. I don't know if any of you have experienced a time with someone where you felt really close, but you were growing further and further away from this person, and you didn't know what to do about it. That's how she felt. That's what I did to her. A little while after that, we broke up, and I was left shattered. And that is when I had decided, from that moment on, to fight this battle with my addiction. I had what I deemed the perfect plan. This plan, like my field of study in engineering, was made up of taking the whole thing apart. And taking the habit apart means breaking it down into what makes a habit. There are 4 things that make a habit. Let's get into the technical stuff. The cue, the craving, the response, the reward. Case in point, take your phone. Once you get a ping, that's a cue. The cue is the ping. It tells you that there's something you have to do. The craving is that desire to know what the source of the ping is. And that's why in Toastmasters we encourage you to close your phone. We don't want no cravings. The response is when you decide to either not touch your phone or pick it up, find out where the source of the ping came from. And finally, the reward, when you do actually find out what it is. And that also is filled with dopamine in your mind and other chemicals. For me, my cue was Instagram and other social media. Seeing other people's lives made me feel a bit more disconnected, and this connection made me go out and smoke. The craving. They say that that is the worst thing for an addict, because once you're addicted to something, the craving is irresistible. Once that hits, there's nothing else that is more important. Next, you've got the response. For me, simple. Take out a cig, take out your lighter, go outside, have a smoke, go back in. To battle that, you have to make it a little bit difficult to respond. If you're in a Toastmasters meeting, we don't want you to touch your phone, we tell you not to. Now you can't because we're telling you not to. For me, it was just the fact that make sure to leave the lighter or the cigarette back at home. That way, when I'm outside, I don't have anything to smoke. If I want to do it, I have to buy it. And buying it on a student income is bad. So that was something that I didn't feel the need to do. Lastly, the reward. To make sure that you don't get the reward of something like this is how you kill the habit. To me, that was about creating what is called a habit contract, which is signing a contract with a friend so that if you do this habit, you incur a loss. My loss was $50 out of my bank account. And since, again, student income, that is not something that I wanted to do. All of these things together I called the perfect plan. But it didn't work. It was missing one important element: connection. According to Johann Hari, who is a leading expert in addiction, the opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. That is something I didn't know. I was creating a feedback loop for this habit. The shame made me want to smoke. Smoking filled me with shame, and it kept on going around. And when I learned this, I felt small. I felt really, really small. Because this isolation that an addict shouldn't have is exactly how I treated someone that I cared about before. When I should have said, I love you, and no matter what, I will always be here for you. I'm up here today, frankly and selfishly, to unburden myself, to share with everybody in this room, and to grace myself with connection and openness, something I was never able to give someone in my life. And all of that, ostensibly, would be true if I was actually addicted to smoking. Thank you.